Conyers 911. Where's your emergency?
I just woke up and my daughter's gone at the house.
How old is your daughter?
Oh, Lord, 13.
January 13, 2010. It was late in the day, just after school. Taz and Jazz returned home to find their mother lying deceased in a blood-soaked bathtub at her residence in Conyers, Georgia. A swirl of questions arose. Who could have done such a horrendous act? A house of strife had turned into a house of horrors. Identical twin sisters had come home from school to find their mother brutally murdered. Authorities reported that Nikki Whitehead had been stabbed 80 times with a kitchen knife, her spinal cord nearly severed. To understand the tragedy, one needs to know a little about Nikki Whitehead. Her tragic end marked the final chapter of a challenging life. Nikki, born in 1975, was the daughter of a mother serving time for drug possession. Raised by her grandmother, Nikki grew up with minimal guidance. As a teenager, she often partied, stayed out late, and eventually, at the age of 17, became pregnant. In November 1993, she gave birth to identical twins, naming them Tasmiyah and Jasmiyah, or Taz and Jazz for short. After the twins were born, Nikki left them with her grandmother, their great-grandmother, as she continued her life of partying and drugs. The twins excelled in school, participated in sports and dancing, and dreamed of one day attending Harvard. Nikki was frequently absent, remaining entrenched in her addictions, which caused the twins to further distance themselves from her. For 12 years, they lived with their great-grandmother, but Nikki dreamed of giving her daughters a better life. She didn't want them to follow in her footsteps, so she decided to put her life back in order and live closer to them. Nikki and the twins moved about 20 miles away to Conyers, Georgia. The young mother ensured her daughters had the opportunities she never had. Their path to success shifted drastically when the girls entered high school. For the first time, they had to adjust to structure and rules, as Nikki became more strict. The twins, accustomed to freedom, bitterly resented their mother's discipline. Tensions peaked when Nikki took away Taz's cell phone, making it clear she wouldn't allow her to talk to a 17-year-old boy at just 13. Once sweet girls had transformed into defiant twin terrors. The situation grew so intense that Nikki called 911 when she discovered Jazz had snuck out in the middle of the night to meet her boyfriend. It was clear Nikki was losing control and had grown fearful, knowing the twins often worked as a team against her. Heated arguments led to frequent police involvement, with Nikki alleging physical abuse by the twins, though they would accuse her in return. Each time, Nikki bore the bruises and scratches while the girls remained unscathed, suggesting she was the victim. The twins were taken into custody multiple times, and the trio underwent counseling, but the twins resisted returning to their mother's care. Family members knew the twins resented Nikki, but no one could have anticipated what happened next. On January 13, 2010, late in the day, Taz and Jazz returned home to discover their mother lifeless in a bathtub soaked with blood. According to police, Nikki Whitehead sustained approximately 80 stab wounds with a kitchen knife, her spinal cord nearly severed. Though Nikki and her daughters had a history of conflict, it seemed unimaginable that these 16-year-olds could be capable of murder. After the shocking discovery, police comforted the twins while seeking answers. Suspicion initially spread to others, including Nikki's two boyfriends, but neither were implicated. The twins themselves began acting strangely, however, attracting the attention of investigators. On the way to the police station, one twin was observed biting her arm, which she explained as a nervous habit. During questioning, the twins hugged and comforted each other, yet displayed an unsettling lack of empathy for their mother, even insulting her. Detectives soon noticed discrepancies in the twins' accounts, prompting them to interview each twin separately. This separation highlighted inconsistencies, raising suspicion that the girls weren't telling the truth. Surveillance footage further contradicted their story. While the twins claimed they missed the school bus and walked to school, video footage showed them hitching a ride and arriving much later than reported. Despite mounting suspicion, police initially lacked sufficient evidence and released the twins into their great-grandmother's custody. For the next 4 months, Taz and Jazz led seemingly normal lives, attending school, hanging out with friends, and even going to prom. Meanwhile, police quietly built their case. Back at the crime scene, investigators uncovered critical evidence, including a clump of hair wrapped in a napkin, and hidden in one of the twins' shoes. Blood-stained items in their closet also yielded clues, but testing the blood proved challenging due to the twins' identical DNA. Further, Nikki had left a vital piece of evidence. Detectives noted that one twin had been biting her own arm, attempting to conceal a bite mark left by Nikki during the attack. A dental examination confirmed it as Nikki's bite, and DNA analysis showed that hair found in Nikki's teeth belonged to one of her daughters. Detectives now had enough evidence. On May 20th, 2010, the last day of school, Taz and Jazz were arrested and charged with felony murder and aggravated assault in their mother's death. The twins pleaded not guilty, but eventually, in 2014, they each accepted a plea deal for voluntary manslaughter, receiving 30-year sentences. During their confession, the twins admitted they'd plotted the murder for some time, expressing a shared resentment toward their mother in journals. This brutal crime stemmed from a tragic blend of resentment and rage. Evidence indicated that Nikki fought for her life, managing to escape briefly, only for the girls to drag her back into the house. They struck her with a pot, stabbed her repeatedly, choked her with a metals ribbon, and ultimately left her in the bathtub. Many believe the twins' confession was motivated by the plea deal, which spared them life sentences. By the time they finish their sentences, Taz and Jazz will be in their mid-40s. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.